to the Cox3.com post-game show. Santa Margarita 75, JSerra 53 here in the Cox3 Sports Game of the Week. Well, it's finally quiet in what was a very noisy gymnasium here tonight. For the first time all night tonight, Coach, I can hear myself.
Well, when you have two student bodies that take part, they participate. They're cheering all night long. They never sit down. It's the best of high school sports, and I loved every second of it, but it did get pretty loud in here, and that's what makes it exciting.
Well, JSerra led by 4 points. Santa Margarita led by 6 at halftime. But in the second half, it was all Eagles, especially thanks to a 27-12 run in quarter number 3.
You know, the Eagles got out and did it in transition. Their fast break stuff looked terrific. They got second chance points. And JSerra struggled from the perimeter. So that's when you'll see the stats later on, you're going to see that the shooting numbers were quite different for these two teams.
And an interesting storyline as we take a look at the statistical numbers. From the field overall, pretty close, but a couple of the key differences. Santa Margarita outscoring JSerra 21-9 from three-point range and outscoring them 20-6 from the free throw line. Turnovers and rebounds were both pretty close.
Yeah, when you get into a game like this, too, there really was only one quarter, and you mentioned it, the 20 points that third quarter was the difference.
Let's go to highlights. Hickman with the 3, opening things up. Then down low, Hickman with another layup, and he led all JSerra scorers with 19. Then in transition, the basket cleaned up down low by Caden Rashid. And how about Scott Wierzierski, their captain? He led the way with 19 points, one of 4 Eagles in double digits tonight. There's the great Gazmi making the layup right there. Sorry I stole that line from you. I promised I'd give it to you, but I broke my promise. Rashid, 3 bullseye right there. Good hustle there by Green to keep it alive. Rashid, bullseye once again. He was just on fire despite the early foul trouble. And how about Jordan Guest banking in the 3?
He called bank. I heard him.
He did. That young man's going to be exciting to watch for years to come. Garen Green making the 3. The Eagles were just very effective from three-point range tonight. Hickman along the base with the pull-up. He really had a wide variety scoring inside and out tonight. There's Hickman with a bullseye 3 right there for the junior. Rashid says, "You leave me open?" Bullseye! Another trifecta.
And again, that's a guy who had 3 fouls in the first quarter.
Yep.
Came back to have a big night.
There's Steele Brenna making the layup. Rashid, another 3. He is just so much fun to watch, is the transfer from Mission Viejo. The other way, nice layup to the hole right there. And then the freshman, setting up the junior. Bullseye, another 3 by Alec Hickman.
You know, you have a night like Jody's team had where you don't hit a lot from the perimeter. You got to have something that matches the second chance points that Santa Margarita got.
Dylan Kohler scoring. He had 12. Beautiful feed to Guest for the throwdown, and the Eagle student section went nuts after that slam dunk. Pull-up jumper by Steele Brenner from the right elbow. Rashid showing I can go to the lane. He misses it, but Guest 2 offensive rebounds, and finishing it up is the youngster. And then the other way, Hickman with the layup. And that's where they were best, where in transition tonight was JSerra. They didn't have enough. Wierzierski posting down low with the left hand. And those are our Cox3.com highlights. As far as leading scorers in this 75-53 game, Wierzierski, look at that, 19-8. Rashid, 16-5-3. Also in double digits, you had 15 by Guest and 10 by Young. For JSerra, Hickman had 19, and Kohler, he had 12 points. So the Eagles find a way to go through league without a victory, but in 4AA, they're probably going to be ranked number 8, because right now they're ranked number 10. 2 of the top teams, including Bishop Montgomery, may move up to that open division, and if JSerra is in the top 8, Jody Gardner thinks they have an opportunity to defeat any of those teams.
Well, it's a replay of last year where both of these teams did so well last year once they got to the playoffs. You're in a league that's so tough from top to bottom. The difference is at least twice a year when you're playing Modern Day and when you're playing Orange Lutheran, you're playing nationally ranked teams. So when you get into the playoffs in a division that fits your team, I think you have a chance to do something special.
And when you look at Santa Margarita, 5-5 in the league, well, 2 of their losses are to Modern Day, always nationally ranked and number 1 in the county. 2 losses to Olu, who's ranked number 2 in the county, and you split with St. John Bosco. Speaking of St. John Bosco, they lost to Olu, so the 2 finish at 5-5 in the tie for third. They're playing tomorrow night to see who gets third place in the Trinity League. Place to be determined on where that game will be played.
Really interesting that at the end of a season you'd have an extra game, and they do that just for the seeding process, and I think it's the way to do it.
Well, it's going to wrap up our regular season of coverage. Hard to believe it has already ended. We've had some exciting games this year. 75-53 is the final. Coach, your final thoughts on this one?
I can't wait for the playoffs. I love the way the CIF does this with so many divisions. They spread things out. They put the really tough teams in the open division, which opens up other divisions for other teams. And I think it's kind of like Indiana State basketball where everybody plays.
And when you think about the CIF Southern Section, San Clemente to the south, San Luis Obispo to the north, the Coachella Valley to the east, you win a CIF title, especially if you have to play some games on the road where you might travel 100 to 200 miles, you're certainly doing something right.
And Avalon High School to the west.
Right.
Get on a boat.
Oh, that's true. I forgot. We got that one out in the ocean, out in Catalina. I apologize to those from Avalon. Well, that's going to wrap up our coverage here from JSerra High. Your final score once again, Santa Margarita 75 and JSerra 53. For Bill Cunity and our entire crew, I'm Mark Heller saying thanks for watching the Cox3.com post-game show. You're watching the one. You're watching the only. We're local like no other. We are Cox3 Sports. Until next time, so long and good night from San Juan Capistrano, California.